Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm so glad you're with me. I got some exciting news to tell you. Two exciting things. As a matter of fact, I am C.E. Dennison. Welcome. Ignore all the boxes and totes you see behind us. My family and I are about to make a huge move, about 10, 11 days from Kentucky down to Corpus Christi, Texas. Welcome, Horns. So, uh, uh, but that's not the exciting thing I wanted to share. Two things I wanted to share. First one is book one will be hopefully coming out in a couple weeks in audio form. So if you read it but you'd rather listen or you want to listen again, the audio form will be out. Not sure exact date. It should be out on Amazon, iTunes, stuff like that, coming soon. So hopefully keep your eyes out for it. Second one, book two is done. I've finished writing it, but you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer in order to get it because we're finishing up the editing process, getting some stuff back from beta readers. So hopefully in July, 1st of August, it'll be done and published so that you can get it and read it if you want to. Then you can have book one prequel and book two to carry you through till book three comes out. And I've already started the process for um, outlining book three, so I already know which way we're going. Just gotta sit down and start it once we're done. So, if you've been waiting a little bit longer, I thought I'd give you just a little hint of what book two is going to be. So, bear with me. I'm not a great orator. There's probably going to be some mistakes, but thought I'd read some of the story. So, this is not all of chapter one. This is a piece closer to the end of chapter one. So, hope you enjoy it. If you do, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Any suggestions, whatever. Please feel free. So, here we go. This is the Chronicles of Sam-Ell, Book 2, The Sword and the Flower. Doug opened his eyes. Everything was blurry from heavy sleep. He hadn't slept that good since he had slept in his own bed. He had no idea how much time had passed. All he knew is he felt much better. He felt strong. His muscles didn't protest when he moved. It was amazing how much better a full belly of pizza made him feel. The room was dark again. The stupid beast must have realized its mistake. He rode over the face of the door, and a slither of light crossed his face. He shook his head, sure he was seeing things, and opened his eyes. The light was not in his mind, but coming through a crack in the door. His heart leaped. His heart leaped. A crack meant the door was unlocked. If the door was unlocked, this could be a way out. He knew the door, without a doubt, was left open on purpose, and leaving the cell was a trap of some kind. But maybe he could avoid it. He sat up facing the door, weighing the pros and cons of going into the castle blind. He went, pushed by desperation, and he would never forgive himself if he didn't try. He stood on legs that were solid. Pizza alone would not have returned his strength fully. Yazoo had a hand in it. With some spell or another, he was sure. He crept, never taking his eyes off the opening, afraid the light might disappear if he did. He reached the door, placed one hand on the hard, splintered wooden door. He pushed it, and with a low creak, the door opened into a dirty hallway. He stepped barefoot and weaponless into the dirty, narrow hallway. He swiveled his head in every direction, trying to get his bearings. The only room in the castle he had seen so far was a cell. The hallway ended behind the door of his cell, so forward was the only direction possible. He stepped unsteadily forward on the smooth, cold floor. The light was dim along the narrow passageway. Doug moved stealthily past several doorways that lined the dungeon passageway. He tried each of the doors, but they were all securely locked. His only way was straight down the passage to an opening at the end of the hall. He was beginning to feel like a caged animal. He continued forward anyway. The passage flowed into a huge room. There were stairs that went up and down. He assumed the stairs down must lead to the torture chambers, and he didn't want to go there. He took the steps leading up, hopefully to an outside door. What to do from there, he didn't know. He'd figure it out when he got there. The stairs went up, connected to a bridge that crossed the room. On the far side was another door. He made his way to that door, his focus. He made his way with the door being his focus. Told you I'm not a good orator. Sorry about that. Oh, crap, he hissed. Doug was not fond of heights, especially those when the flat platform beneath his feet was transparent. He walked out on the old rusted rickety bridge. It groaned slightly under his weight. To make matters far worse, the old bridge didn't have so much as a handrail to hold on to. It was a good thing for him. It was wide enough for 3 or 4 people to cross easily. The ceiling above him was low, but just out of reach, and made of solid stone. He leaned over the side, and deep in the deep depths below, he could make out 2 skeletons. Poor souls were still shackled to the floor. At least he got a room. The more he gazed in the darkness, the more death he realized. Yazoo was far crazier than Doug realized. It was time to get out of there quick. He broke into a sprint. He was surprised his legs didn't protest more, but the adrenaline propelled him quickly forward. He hurried to the doorway on the opposite side of the bridge. Being out in the open in the middle of a dungeon was not his ideal fun. He left the bones scattered on the floor behind him, determined that his bones would not be joining them soon. Halfway across the bridge, he saw one of the mindless beasts coming toward him. There was nowhere to go. He would have to face the demon head on. He was stronger, but not strong enough for an all-out fight. He said a silent prayer that the beast's stupidity in battle matched its stupidity elsewhere. The beast moved on its back legs, and for a beast, there was grace to its movements. It did not trudge along with his eyes to the ground, but looked forward, scanning ahead. It was massive, but not nearly as intimidating as a Zamir. This beast was much weaker than its distant relative. It sniffed the air, catching Doug's scent. Doug tried his best to hide in the shadows, but out in the open, his fair skin stood out against the dark. Slowly it turned its head to Doug and growled deep from its throat. The beast moved menacingly toward Doug, its eyes leveled on its prey. Doug looked around frantically for a way to get away. Anyway, forward toward the beast or back to the cell were the only options. He was not going back to the cell. There wasn't even a bone laying on the bridge he could use for a weapon. He lowered his head and set a steely gaze on the charging beast. He would not go back to the cell willingly. If that meant going through the beast, then he would. He pulled his upper lip back into a snarl, unleashing a cry that would make a being's blood run cold. Doug ran to the beast with all the strength he could muster. The beast screeched and threw a massive clawed hand at his head. Doug was surprised. His reflexes returned as if he had not endured months of torture. He slipped under the claw, sliding behind the creature. Jumping, he lashed out with a back kick, striking the creature in its lower back. It stumbled and dropped to one knee. It growled and rose slowly to its feet, pivoting, striking out. It meant to use its claws to disembowel Doug. Doug was quick. He jumped back out of the way of the hands, his hands up ready to defend himself. He didn't just know. He just didn't know really how to attack the thing that stood before him. The beast moved with surprising speed. It attacked with its left and right claws, trying to rip Doug in half. Doug was lucky. The beast slashed him one time on the right cheek. Blood trickled down his face into the corner of his mouth. The next wave of attack was 3 slashes at his head. Doug ducked underneath all 3. He chanced a quick look at the beast's legs, trying to guess where its knees were. He dodged in close, smashing what he hoped was its knee with a side kick. It roared, dropped to its knees near the edge of the bridge, clutching the injured area. Doug delivered a powerful front kick, connecting with a crunch to its face. It tumbled over the edge of the bridge. Doug watched as the beast dropped to the floor far below, slamming into the hard stone in a bloody hump and lying still. Doug gazed at the dead beast for a moment, trying to catch his breath. The short fight drained a lot of his energy. He hoped his legs would hold up, but he knew they wouldn't if he encountered very many more Yazoo's minions. He looked in the direction the beast had come from. He didn't know how many more of those things were out there, but he was afraid he was about to find out. He took a deep breath and rushed toward the light. So we'll stop there so this video doesn't go very much longer. Sorry about the mess ups and the tongue tied, but there's the first several pages from chapter 1 of book 2. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think. There's way more action in this one. People that's read it said they think it's better than the first one. I hope so. It just means that I'm improving with writing. So please let me know what you think. Hope you enjoyed it, and please look for book 2 to come out. If you haven't read book 1, go ahead and get book 1, read it. There's a prequel out. It's really short. You can read it probably in a day. It's about 130, 140 pages. So if you liked the video, please click it. Let me know you liked it. Leave a comment. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channels. I'll try to put out more content. And in the descriptions below, I will put the links for everything so that you can just, on YouTube, you can just go down there and click subscribe, click the Amazon store, my website, Facebook, Twitter. I'm on all of those. So look me up, let you know what you think, give me a comment. Hope you enjoy. God bless. Have a good afternoon, good morning, whatever you're watching.